Hey everybody, it is Matt from 1000x Leads, and this video I'm going to go over media partnerships, which I believe is one of the best ways to try and grow. And in the overall funnel here, media partnerships is going to be right here in the overall bucket of partnerships in general. Partnerships along with outreach, along with content and paid ads are the main top of funnel traffic drivers, and all of them work together to get a better result. So if you're posting content and you have a great paid ad funnel that gets you attention and a cold email or other outreach funnel that gets you even more attention and you have a bigger audience, you are going to do a lot better in terms of media partnerships. How I would define media partnerships and the different types of them are things like newsletters, things like blogs, events, YouTube channels, influencers, podcasters, communities, that kind of thing. So the purpose or the trade for media partnerships are you both have the same audience. You give your media partner content in the form of one of these things, whether you do a guest post on their newsletter or blog, or you speak at their event, or you do a YouTube or podcast episode with them, or you do a webinar for the community. These are all examples. So you give them content and you get attention from their audience. You're kind of doing a swap, so to speak. And this is one of the best ways to get a lot of people to know about you all in one shot. Because if you speak at an event, and there's 1,000 people in the room, presumably qualified and higher income buyers, like that is a very successful event media partnership. If you do a podcast episode that gets thousands of views that didn't know about you before, that's another example. If you have I know myself, for example, I've done a few webinars for communities that have dozens and dozens and dozens, if not hundreds of 7 and 8 figure agency owners. That's been very good for me for 1000x Leads. So there's other forms of media partnerships, but these are kind of going to be the universal ones that apply to everything. So I'm going to talk about how you can get media partnerships and the things to keep in mind when crafting a good media partnership offer. Because the same thing is, we're going to basically treat our potential partners as potential clients, and we have to have an offer for them. So the first thing that we have to keep in mind is the term of risk, or to what degree of risk are people taking by putting us in front of their audience. So I have a few points here. The first is, who gives a shit? You are going to get 100 times more media partnerships if you can bring your own attention and bring your own audience to that channel. It's not really a B2B lead gen example, but Andrew Tate, back when he was, at his peak, he gets eyeballs, he gets clicks. So there's going to be no shortage of YouTubers, podcasters, that kind of stuff who want him on their channel because they're going to get more views. And if you can achieve this kind of thing for yourself, and it doesn't have to be mass market or a lot of views, but if you can draw high quality clicks inside your niche and bring them to people, you're going to get a lot more media partnerships than the other way around. Because if you don't get any eyeballs, and that kind of implies that no one cares about you or you're just not interesting, and that would kind of imply a lot more risk for a media partner than if you are already getting attention and you can bring that to yourself. The next is, are you going to ruin their quality standard by doing just such a bad job that their audience begins to distrust them and then not click? So it happens to everybody, but if I had 10 YouTube videos in a row, people are going to be expecting them all to be bangers, and then I just, for whatever reason, stop posting for a while or just make a few that aren't as good, people are going to be less inclined to click on my stuff in the future. It's the same with you're writing a newsletter, and if even one newsletter is not up to the quality standard, people are going to be less likely to click on it next time they see in their inbox. And if they do this enough, that's basically how you see people with 500K YouTube subscribers that get like 5K views at this point. Maybe for a time it was very good, but now they've ruined their quality standard that no one really cares. And people consuming media, hence the media partnerships, is a lot more routine based than someone might think, where if you post every day, your videos are just going to be part of their daily routine. And this is a very big problem, because if your videos are part of the daily routine and you are doing a very bad job in the media partnership and you made a very bad video, and that's kind of all it takes to fall out of a routine, missing once, maybe twice, that kind of stuff. And then the third thing in potential risk is is associating with you going to come back to bite them in the ass down the road? Like, I don't want to do too extreme examples of this, but are you a scammer, or are you providing a bad result, or are you have something about your background or history where, once you see that a lot of the time when people dig up people's past when they get big enough. Not as big of one as the potential 1 and 2, but it is something, especially when you're trying to deal with like established brands where the brand is like the value, where, this does represent some risk for a potential media partnership. The thing that is going to determine how many media partnerships that you do, and it's going to be a combination, like the higher, if you rate these all out of 10, the closer to 10 they all are, the bigger and better and more numerous media partnerships you'll be able to form. So do you bring your own attention? And that's not really a yes or no, but to what degree do you bring your own attention to this media partnership? The second is, what is your track record? That's kind of, you can think of that as two parts. One is, what's your track record on past media partnerships with other people? Like, did you make banger podcast episode, or did you write a banger guest post for them? And can you show that to them? As well as your track record is like, if you're getting interviewed on a big agency channel, like, have you grown an agency or something like that? The next is going to be relevancy. Like, I would not really have any reason to be on a, dry cleaning or how to start a cleaning company business in India, right? That's just wouldn't make sense to be on. So it has to be relevant, and how relevant you are both in general, but at the current time. Like, when you see something like there's just the Huac Tua girl, she was super relevant at the time where, that she's getting invited on all sorts of stuff. And then, over time, that goes down, 15 minutes of fame type stuff. And then to what degree can you provide exclusive insights that their target audience can't get anywhere else? This is very important in B2B or business type media partnerships. But if I was an expert on agencies and I know that people have to do these 5 things to grow, and there's just not that many people who can give those insights to them, like, that makes me more valuable in terms of a media partnership. So these 4 things, and what degree you embody these 4 things or can provide these 4 things, are going to determine how many media partnerships you can get. If you ask me in the comments, or you email me like a lot of people do, how do I get media partnerships with no track record or case studies? The answer is you don't. It's just like, how do I get, you just have to grind at the start until you develop these 4 things. And then, it's called momentum. It's called compound effect. It's called, you have to stick with it over time. So I hope this video was helpful and shot some insights on the possibility of media partnerships, what they are, what the big factors are, and then, what you need to do. If it was valuable, let me know in the comments or send me an email, and I will see you in the next one.